Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to the Johnson & Johnson IRDP event. At this time, all participants are in listen-only mode. Later on, we will conduct a live question and answer session with the presenters. As a reminder, this conference is being recorded for replay purposes. We have the pleasure to welcome for this live session our keynote speakers, Natalia Teles, the LATAM Early Talent and IRDP Manager, Mircea Cubios, the VP in Ethicon of LATAM, Angela Cepero, the Commercial and Marketing Manager in Spine and Power Tools, and Rafael Benevent, the Product Manager in Oncology at Janssen. Natalia, you may begin.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for your time. Let me introduce myself. My name is Natalia Tejes, and I am LATAM Early Talent and IRDP Manager at Johnson & Johnson. I would like to welcome you all to our virtual event. We hope to fulfill all your expectations with today's session. And to do so, I would like to explain the agenda that we will cover in today's meeting. To begin, I will explain and give you a short introduction about our leadership development programs, focusing in our international recruitment development program. Then I will be followed by our main speaker, Mircea Cubillos, and then he will share with us his professional experience and give you a J&J introduction. Then we will have an alumni sharing led by Rafael Benavent, and then we will have Maria Angela Cepero, who also will be sharing her experience. Finally, we will have the Q&A sessions. So to begin, well, it is important that you already do want to build this vital career in one of our businesses. With your help, we can bring millions of voices together to inspire and change and create a healthier world for everyone and everywhere. Today, I would like to talk about the leadership development programs. In the first part, I want to give a quick overview, but don't worry, I will go deeper in the next slides. So the leadership development programs are well-designed programs to accelerate the development of the identified high potential talents and transform the students to future business leaders. The participants can be developed through rotational and non-rotational job or project assignments across J&J sector, functions, or countries. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about the entry pathways available and how you can explore opportunities that fit your goals. First, we have the internships that can be the traditionals, and as with the summer internships and apprenticeship programs, or they can be focused on functional groups through one of our leadership development programs. Then we can find the full-time opportunities, and that can be traditionally direct hires for specific opportunities that align with our business needs. So now let's focus on our leadership development programs. In J&J, we have 3 international leadership programs which are targeted business school students. One is the Experienced Human Resources Leadership Development Program. It's a 2-year full-time program aiming to develop future global leaders for HR functions. Then we can find the International Recruitment and Development Program. That is also a 2-year full-time program for leadership focused on Asia Pacific, EMEA, and Latin America. And finally, we find the PLDP, that is the Procurement Leadership Development Program. That is a 2-year program with no rotational, engaging students in procurement solutions. It is important to remember that the leadership development programs transform students into future business leaders. By joining one of our main LDPs, you will take on exciting new projects and have a leadership role for the start. Have access to mentors and coaches that will guide you through your time in the program and beyond, and receive personalized development and learning experience and much more. Now, let me give you a detailed overview about our IRDP program and our International Recruitment Development Program. As you may see, we have more than 42 interns participating this year. Our positions are available in Asia Pacific, Europe, Latin America, Middle East, and Africa. We have strong commitment from senior leadership. We ensure an accelerated development experience for high potential employees. We have more than 99 current programs participants. And finally, this program has been going strong for over 3 decades. Let me now share with you the different pathways that we have in our IRDP program. We have the internship experience that is a typically 8 to 12-week program. It comes between April through September. We have the participants, well, in this real-life assignment, you will have networking opportunities, and this internship experience is the primary feeder for our full-time experience. When we talk about our full-time experience, we're talking about a 2-year customized development program. It's a comprehensive career tracking. It's a formal leadership training. We have an executive coaching, and you will also have the opportunity of connect with different stakeholders in our organization. So maybe you will be asking how you can apply. The idea is that you can enter our career page and you will go to careersjnj.com, look for the requisition numbers and titles, and apply online to these requisitions until the 30th of November of this year for the full-time roles. And for the intern roles, we have until the 31st of January so that you can apply. The idea is that you can also join into our talent community. Now I give my word to Mircea Cubillos. As I mentioned, he's our LATAM Ethicon Vice President, and he will be sharing with you his professional career, and he will give you more details regarding Johnson & Johnson.
Thanks, Nati, and hi, everyone. So my name is Mircea Cubillos. I am Colombian. I am Romanian also. And 18 years ago, I was exactly in your position, listening to a J&J presentation, understanding if that would be the company where I wanted to work with, and if I was the right talent for this company. And well, 18 years later, I'm here sharing my experience with you. So I joined through the MBA program in Colombia. Actually, because I had 2 passports, I was offered an opportunity in Colombia and in Romania, and I decided to start my journey in Latin America. I was the first MBA in the pharmaceutical group at that time. I was not understanding very well what was about it, and I had 0 experience in the healthcare sector. So I did my internship during the summer of my MBA, and after that, I was very lucky to receive a full-time offer starting in the pharmaceutical group, and I'm going to explain a little bit the different sectors that we have inside J&J. And I started with an experience as a sales representative in Venezuela at that time, because we had a position open in that country, and they told me if I was open to do it, and I took the challenge. So I spent my first year in Venezuela. Then I moved to Colombia, and I started a marketing career as product manager, then as franchise manager, working in different therapeutic areas. And at that point, I had also an experience in regional, launching for the first time the oncology business in my country and then in the region. And that was my first experience outside my country, and I started to see other markets. I was very interested at that point in Brazil, which is the largest market that we have in Latin America. So I expressed my interest. I started to learn Portuguese, and finally I got an offer to move to Brazil to lead our central nervous system business. And I'm going to explain later what does that mean. And from there, I took a role as marketing director for Latin America for Janssen, which is our pharmaceutical group. Then I moved to Mexico, where I had also a sales and experience on top of marketing, which is a critical experience when you want to grow into more managerial roles in this organization. And finally, after spending several years in Latin America, I really wanted to have an experience outside my region. So I applied to a position with our global team, and I was very lucky to get a position, a global role as the leader for our infectious disease group based in New Jersey. So that was a big change in my career because for the first time I was in contact with other regions such as Europe, Asia Pacific, and the US. I had the chance to launch a global product for the first time, an amazing experience. And at that time, I started to hear about moving cross-sector as a great opportunity to gain new experiences. And after living outside my country 10 years, I got the chance to receive an offer from the other sector, medical devices, to become the general manager in Colombia, which was a great way to return to my home country. And I came back in 2015 as the leader of our medical devices group. And this year, I assumed a new role inside medical devices as the leader for our surgery business for Latin America, based in Colombia. So it's been an amazing journey, moving through different countries, different sectors. And here I am 18 years later sharing my experience with you. So let me talk a little bit about J&J from my perspective. From my experience working at J&J is a transformational experience, both at professional and personal level, because this company touches the life of more than 1 billion people every single day, which is an amazing number that I like to share every time I speak. I can tell you that it's very inspiring to work in this company. It's an amazing journey because at the end you feel that your work means something to many patients and many consumers around the globe. At J&J, we cure diseases, we improve the quality of life of patients, we prolong lives, and we are the largest healthcare company in the world. So we have many pharmaceutical companies, we have lots of devices companies, consumer companies, but what makes J&J very unique is that we have the 3 sectors in one company. And that is amazing because of the size of the business, but also because from a professional perspective, you have great opportunities to grow, having very transformational and different experiences like the opportunities that I had. I would like to spend 1 minute talking about our credo. Our credo is our famous document. If you Google it and you want to understand a little bit more about the credo, you will find lots of information. It's been also a business case for many MBA programs. So maybe at your MBA, you have discussed a little bit about it. And it's basically a document created in 1943, where we display all the values that we have in this organization. And I can tell you as a leader of this organization that is not just a piece of paper. We make decisions based on the credo, and it makes our life much easier, because when you have a dilemma, and we face dilemmas every single week, you go to the credo and you will see in every single office in the world, credo in all the walls of J&J across the globe. It makes our decision easy. You know that patients and customers come first. Then we have our employees and our responsibility to our employees, more than 140,000 employees across the globe. Then we have the third paragraph talks about our role with our communities. And we have an important role here and an important commitment that I'm going to share a little bit about that. And finally, the commitment that we have with our shareholders, and the commitment to bring back all the revenues so we can invest again in our business. So when you have these 4 paragraphs in line, it's easy to make decisions. And I can tell you we use it every single day. And our first priority is the people that we touch every day with our products. And as I said before, we have three sectors. The pharmaceuticals sector, which is called Janssen across the globe, is a very well-known brand for whoever works close to the healthcare sector. Then we have Johnson & Johnson medical devices, and finally our consumer line, which is maybe closer to your mind because I'm sure you use our products at home every day. So let me speak a little bit about our pharmaceuticals group first. When I joined J&J 18 years ago, we were present in many therapeutic areas. And maybe 10 years ago, we decided to focus in some specific areas, just to make sure that we have the best research and development program in those specific areas where we consolidate our investments. And we decided that we wanted to be the best in some areas like immunology, where we have a pipeline and products to treat diseases like psoriasis, rheumatoid arthritis. We are very present in cardiovascular. We have compounds for the treatment of diabetes, for example. We acquired recently an important company like 3 or 4 years ago in Switzerland with an amazing pipeline to treat pulmonary hypertension, infectious diseases, hepatitis, HIV, respiratory diseases, neuroscience, basically schizophrenia, bipolar disorders, depression, and finally oncology, which is a very important stronghold for us. And we have compounds to treat prostate cancer, for example, other diseases like multiple myeloma, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about some examples of that. So it's a very robust pipeline, but also with great focus in 6 therapeutic areas where we want to be the best company. And that's a declaration we made some years ago. And today, I can say that the progress has been amazing, and the position that we have in pharmaceuticals is what we are one of the leading companies across the globe. Then is medical devices, which is the sector where I'm currently working. We are leaders in surgery and orthopedics. We have a new pipeline in robotics. In 2030, in the US, maybe more than 25% of the population will be treated through robotic procedures, artificial intelligence, and we are investing because we want to be leaders in that space too. And we're not talking just about robotics, we are talking about digital solutions where we combine the power of having robots in our pipeline, but also is about the connectivity, is about the visualization, is about how can you exchange information with leading centers across the globe. So it's a very interesting platform, a digital platform, and I'm leading that effort for Latin America today, which is going to be a very different world. So today we go to the operating room praying to have a very good surgeon in front of us. In the future, every single surgeon will have the chance to produce a fantastic surgery, reducing the risk and with the best outcomes for patients. So that's a great business to work in. We have also our vision care business, AcuView. For many of you maybe are users of our vision care portfolio, and we are investing also in bringing new solutions in this area. So that's basically medical devices. Basically, we are present in hospitals across the globe with a very large portfolio. And finally, the third sector is our consumer health sector. You are very familiar with several of our brands: Listerine, Aveeno, Neutrogena, Band-Aid, etc., etc. We acquired recently a very important line of shampoos. We wanted to compete in this category, and we have a J&J store in every office in the world, and every time we have the shampoos coming, they go out during the first day because they are very popular with our employees. So this is a beautiful sector which gives us our name. everybody knows Johnson & Johnson in the world because they have used our consumer products, and we have the responsibility to protect that brand and the reputation that we have today in front of mothers, fathers, patients, consumers across the globe. So, and we are looking about our future, and we are investing and bringing new companies to Johnson & Johnson. So basically how it works, we have our internal research and development program where we discover internally new compounds, but also we acquire external organizations to complement our portfolio. I gave you an example of Actelion, which is the company we acquired in Switzerland 3 or 4 years ago in our pharmaceutical group to treat pulmonary hypertension, a very large acquisition, 30 billion investment. We have acquired other natural products to complement our consumer portfolio. We want to be leaders in the OTC market with new compounds, and this is an example of what we're bringing. Oris is an acquisition that we did last year to bring a new digital solutions for our medical devices group, etc. So R&D is very dynamic. We are one of the top companies in terms of R&D investment, and this is very motivating as an employee because you work in a company that is looking to be leader in the future and renovating the portfolio. So that's what we live every day. And on top of acquisitions, we also like the world of partnerships. We have made a partnership with Next, for example, which is a biomedical device incubator that will allow Johnson & Johnson to integrate their products to our development Center for Device Innovation in Texas, for example. So this is an example of an amazing partnership. We have a partnership also with Apple. Atrial fibrillation is a heart condition which can lead to stroke and to difficult outcomes for patients. So using one of the apps from Apple, the ECG app, we can conduct a study to identify signs of arrhythmia and understand how can we improve healthcare outcomes for patients. So this is another example of what we can do together with other companies today. And finally, we have a beautiful and long-lasting partnership with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And basically, we are working together to eradicate HIV in the world. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about HIV in a few slides. On top of that, we have the J&J Labs. The J&J Labs, it's one of the most exciting parts of what we have in Johnson & Johnson and the capability we have created in recent years because we can't stop innovating. And the companies that are going to win in the future are the ones who are going to be able to bring additional innovation. And for us, the J&J Labs are the perfect example where we bring young researchers and companies who have great ideas, and they bring their ideas to our centers in the world to understand if this is something that fits with our portfolio, with our interest, and if there's a joint interest, we start to build together through mentorship programs, but also investing in those organizations to develop their compounds. So that's where we join their ingenuity with our experience and our resources to bring new innovation to the world. We have more than I think it's, let me see if I think we have more than 16 innovation centers across the globe. And if I remember well, the last one we launched was in Shanghai. So this is something that is growing and excites us a lot. So what else can I share? We think about our responsibility with our teams, and we want to bring innovation also inside J&J. We have great benefits for our employees, and I'm representing here HR, but one of the things that I share permanently when I have the chance to speak with our external partners or with our customers, surgeons, physicians, non-clinical stakeholders, is about what we do, and we serve as an example. For example, we have benefits. We launched, I think, 2 years ago already, the paternal leave. So every father in new father in Johnson & Johnson can take 8 weeks of paternity leave across the globe, which maybe if you are seated in Sweden is not a big change because already you have very advanced policies. But when you sit in countries like, I don't know, in Colombia, where you have just 1 week, now the company gives you 8 weeks to share that that parental experience with the mother, and you can use that benefit during the first 12 months after birth. We have programs for energy, to energy for performance. We believe that healthy employees will bring their best to the company. They will bring innovation, and they will bring a better performance. So we have the commitment to have the healthiest workforce by 2020. This is a commitment from our CEO, and we have several programs to achieve that. In terms of benefits, for example, to go to the gym every day, but we have also global contests to make sure that everybody's trying to do their best effort to be a healthy employee. And of course, this is optional, but I have to say that the majority of our employees love to participate in these kind of programs. We want to also create a very inclusive environment. Today, for example, I'm the leader for our diversity and inclusion program in Latin America, where we have specific programs for women leadership inclusion. We want to see more women leaders in our organization, and we have great examples today. The pharmaceutical and the medical devices group, for example, are led by 2 women. We also have a program to include LGBTQ communities into our organization. It's not just about the diversity, it's about the inclusion, how we make sure that when they are inside J&J, they feel they can be at their best. So that's part of the responsibility, and some examples I wanted to share. We are also redefining what it means to be a big company. When you have such a large organization in the world, where you are present in more than 260 countries, you have 3 business segments, you have more than 130,000 employees across the globe, it's important to have a clear policies to make sure that we feel that we are a big company, but also with a clear focus in every single country on how can we make a difference. So we have flexible arrangements for employees to work. So we have home work. Today, for example, I'm calling from my house. I'm working today from home. We have new spaces, and we are building new working environments across the different companies. We have launched, for example, in Latin America, our new offices in Sao Paulo, in Bogota, in Mexico, in Santiago, where we have flexible spaces. And basically, everybody has the same opportunity to enjoy the office. And you don't have the directors in a corner with a huge office and with all the windows for them. Everybody can enjoy the windows, everybody can enjoy the light, and everybody can enjoy flexible spaces that we have for meetings, for informal meetings, for video teleconferences. So you don't have to travel, and you can connect with your team across Latin America using new technologies. And this is basically working in the spirit of improving the quality of life of our employees. If you see some pictures of our workspaces, you will be impressed, because they are really, really great places to work in. So, and something that it's very exciting when you work at J&J is you will receive, I would say, monthly an amazing message from our corporate office about how others see us in terms of our reputation, in terms of the efforts that we do to bring diversity to our teams, on the way we are delivering in terms of results, and we are one of the top ranked companies in every single category, and that makes you very proud. And we have the responsibility to increase our delivery every day to continue in those amazing rankings. And you can see here some examples in terms of Fortune Magazine, LinkedIn, etc., etc. So I already said that we want to be the healthiest workforce in the world. We have also programs, for example, for transgender-related healthcare benefits, which is very innovative, and we want to be at the forefront in terms of innovation for benefits. From a finance perspective, we have, and it depends on the country you work with, some retirement programs. We have some innovative ways to compensate our employees, and we support some educational programs also. And in terms of lifestyles, I already mentioned that we have flexible arrangements. We have soft landing programs, for example, for new mothers. We want to make sure that people understand that you can grow your family and your professional career at the same time, and you don't have to choose. And for that, you need to have clear policies, and you need to walk the talk as a leader in this organization. And that's the environment that you see at Johnson & Johnson. Today, we have a great responsibility with our communities. I had the chance throughout my career to lead several times our global community impact program, which is basically investments that we do to improve the quality of life in the communities where we work. We want to give back also to the communities. We have a great responsibility. And today we participate in several local programs. It depends on each country, but also we have global initiatives like working together with Save the Children across the globe. And that's a very rewarding part of our work, getting close to our communities and understanding the responsibility we have. And something that we have created at Johnson & Johnson is our Health for Humanity initiatives, where basically as Johnson & Johnson, we want to understand and to see our progress every year with our commitment to improve the trajectory of health in the world. So we have clear metrics, and there are great progress to report. For example, I spoke a little bit about our HIV commitments. Today, we have great products to treat HIV. Maybe 30 years ago, people would have a very different outcome. Today, you can live 30, 40, 50 years with the compounds that are present today in the world, and Johnson & Johnson has been a leader in this space. But however, we understand that there is more to do, and we need to try to eradicate HIV, and there is a vaccine that we are trying to develop, and we have already studies placed in Africa, and that's the partnership we have also with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. If we don't find a vaccine, it's going to be very difficult to eradicate the disease, more when you think in a continent like Africa. So that's where we want to see progress. We have also a great commitment to tackle devastating diseases like multiple myeloma, which is a cancer, a bone marrow cancer, devastating disease. 15 years ago, we brought a new hope for patients with a treatment that gave additional survival years for patients. But today we want to take it to the next level. What else we need to bring in terms of innovation for a disease that today doesn't have a cure? What other examples? We want to bring additional solutions to our employees in terms of innovative programs, innovative benefits. So that's something that we report here. Our commitment to invest within the community. So we just signed a new partnership with UNICEF, where we granted $10 million to support those. So those are basically examples of things that we want to measure every single year and understand the impact we are making in our communities and the countries we work in. I already spoke about HIV. I would like to invite you to watch our AIDS documentary, the 5B, that you can easily find on internet, and it was sponsored by J&J, and it really speaks about our journey, trying to reduce the burden of this disease across the globe. So hopefully you will have the chance to see a little bit more of what we do in this space. And finally, as I mentioned, the last paragraph of our credo talks about our responsibility with the shareholders, and we have our responsibility to bring returns to the organization so we can invest in future products, in the future pipeline, and in future solutions for patients. So let me give you some examples of how financially we are seen by the external community. 35 consecutive years of adjusted operational earnings growth, which is very unique, and this gives us 56 consecutive years of dividend increases. So as employees, we have an internal program where you can buy stock, or you receive stock as part of your benefits, and this is a great company to invest in when you see a 56 consecutive years of dividend increases. We are one of 2 AAA rated companies with Microsoft, which is a very unique space to be, and shows our financial strength. And in terms of rankings, in terms of R&D investments, in terms of cash flow return to our shareholders, you can see that we have a very strong position across the globe. Blockbusters, basically a blockbuster at Johnson & Johnson is a brand that sells more than $1 billion. We have more than 26 brands today reaching that threshold, and we want to bring more to our pipeline. And we've been ranked number 7 by the S&P 500 top 10 market cap companies in the world, and that's the power when we join the 3 sectors in this report. So that's basically a good example of our financial health. And with that, I would like to close and give my word to Rafael, who sits in Italy and would like to share his experience with us. So thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much, Mircea, for your inspiring presentation. It's been a pleasure. So yeah, as Mircea already told you, I'm actually in Spanish, and as I will walk you through, I'm actually living in Italy, in Milan. So my career started some years ago, where I started my chemical engineering master in science in Barcelona, Spain. Then I started some roles not related to pharma or directly with Johnson & Johnson. So I have an experience in consulting in a company called Horwath, which is mainly focused on hotel tourism and leisure, so nothing to do with pharmaceutical or medical background. Then I changed, and I had an experience a couple of years in Alpla, which is a packaging company. So mainly I was doing, for example, the packages of the bottles for Johnson & Johnson shampoos and so on. So I was more technical side. But then I realized that what really inspired me was to be closer to the customers and be more have more customer related roles. So I started to figure it out. I wanted to complete my education doing an MBA, but in the meanwhile, I was promoted as national sales manager for Alpla, so mainly selling this packaging across the Iberian Peninsula. So already, wow, 6 years ago, I started my MBA in IES, Barcelona, where I also had the opportunity to have a very, very rewarding experience in an exchange in SIPs in China. So I had the opportunity to visit a completely different culture, and also I had the opportunity to understand a bit more how this amazing country works and get more insights on the Chinese background in infrastructure. So it was really an inspiring assignment. During my MBA, it's not here in this slide, but I had the opportunity to do an internship in another pharmaceutical company, Italian one, small one called Chiesi, just a couple of months during my internship. And then when around during my second year in the MBA, I started my process, my RDP process for starting my role. So I did my interview with Janssen Italy. So it is true that everyone needs to or has to build up their own path in Johnson & Johnson. Obviously, you have great support from the HR people and in this case also from my mentor. I had and all the IRDP colleagues, alumni. We had a mentor and a buddy that helped me through the career in J&J. Actually, I think one of the most inspiring that I had was with my mentor. That was a senior director here in Janssen, Italy. That I think it was during my first month. I was, Rafa, what do you want to do the next month, the next role? I was like, Gabri, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do next week, and you ask me what I want to become. So I started to figure it out and creating my network. So my first role was business intelligence manager. So mainly what a BIM does here in Italy was I was supposed to understand the full market. In my case, I was assigned in oncology and the CNS market. We have some products in schizophrenia. So I was supposed to fully understand all the market dynamics and also, for example, to build up the forecast of the products for the next 1 and 4 years. So fully understand all the dynamics, all the pipeline, and all the different players that we have in the market. Then I did an assignment in EMEA, which is Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So it was a regional role where I was supposed to develop the KPIs that will help us to track how we were interacting with our customers. So I developed the KPIs, and I was part also of the team that developed the dashboards to get track of these KPIs. And finally, already 1 year ago, so as you can see, mainly each year I had a different role in J&J, which is, in my opinion, amazing. So you have the opportunity to grow a lot in different roles in J&J. I started this product management role in oncology, in this case in prostate cancer, where we have one of the blockbusters, and I'm currently preparing the launch of another amazing product, which is apalutamide. So mainly what I'm doing is preparing the communication of this product and also the strategy on where to place the product and identify the most compelling messages and the strategy in order to maximize the outcome. So overall, this has been my, I would say, exciting path also in J&J, and as you can see, in less than 4 years, I had already different experience, both local and international exposure. So this is all from my side. I pass now the word to Angela. Angela, sorry.
Hi everyone. My name is Maria Ángela Cepero. I am. Are you already seeing my slide, or anyone has to change it? Okay, I'll just start talking while you change the slide. I'm currently living in Colombia. I'm from Colombia, and I have to admit that it's been a very amazing and challenging career since I started in J&J. I graduated from a Bachelor in Business Administration almost, it's been 10 years ago. And in Colombia, I started here in Bogota, in Colombia. And I started to work in a company that was in the automotive sector. That it's called Praco Didacol. They were the dealers from Peugeot, Daihatsu, and some like heavy machinery. And I started working there as a business development associate. Then I moved to what I thought was the area that I would like to work for the rest of my life, and was consulting services. So I started working as an associate in Business Sweden, which is a consulting company from the Swedish government. And that was the first time when I had the first contact with the healthcare sector. We work with some companies that want to go to Colombia or come to Colombia and set their businesses in the healthcare sector there. I worked there for 3 years, and then at some point, I decided to go to do my MBA because I needed some credentials to grow in the consulting world. So I went to Spain also, but this time to Madrid, and I did my MBA at the IE, Instituto de Empresa. I spent there a year, and while doing my MBA, J&J, the recruitment team, went to the university, and I have to admit that I went there just to see what they were talking about. As I told you, I wanted to go to consulting services, and J&J was from the real sector, so that was not like my aspirations. But then I went to this meeting. I got to know the people from J&J and discovered that this was an amazing company and that was something I wanted to do. And what really caught my attention there was that normally we all think that J&J is a baby shampoo company, and we all think is that they only work with shampoo, creams, body creams, and things like that for the babies. But when I went to this meeting, I realized that they were also working with the medical devices sector, the healthcare sector. I also got to know the Janssen division, which is something totally different. And I discovered that it was extremely interesting for me. So I applied to the IRDP program. And when I had the first call and when they contacted me for the first interview, they told me something like, well, you know what we do, so guess what? We have this position in the orthopedic sector, something really unknown for me, and but it sounded really amazing. So I did all my interview and I started working with the Pew Synthes, which is the orthopedics franchise in medical devices. I started with a very interesting role, which was the integration leader. At this time, when I started the IRDP program in J&J, Johnson & Johnson was buying a very big company, very well known in the world from orthopedics, which was called Synthes. J&J had orthopedics division, which was small, so they were acquiring this other company. And I started as the integration leader, and my responsibilities was bringing the two companies together in all the areas. So I got to know everyone. As Mirsha was saying while he was talking, he was talking about the quality of people we have here, the quality of life, and how we can talk to everyone and we can ask questions and get to know everyone. And this was exactly what I was doing in my role, because I had to lead everyone to go into this common goal, which was integrating the companies. So once that was done, after a year, I moved into marketing, and I started as a PMA, a product manager associate in spine and biomaterials in the northern cluster. So the northern cluster covers Colombia, Venezuela, the Central American and the Caribbean region, including Puerto Rico. And that was actually my first contact with marketing. And this is something that I would also like to highlight here, because it's J&J who gave me the opportunity to go into marketing, something I didn't know about it before. And they told me, okay, go into marketing. We're here to train you and give you all the tools you need to grow within the company and within the marketing, within this marketing area. So I worked there for almost 2 years. First, well, with spine and biomaterials, and this year, in the beginning of this year, I also I became responsible also for the commercial team and the sales team in the company, and a new challenge, because now I was managing some people, which is a totally different world, and this time I also got power tools within my responsibility. So it's been quite of a path here, growing, getting to know other people, getting to know other areas I can go to. It's an amazing company, a really big company. So it's so when you start to think what can it do next, the options are, there are so many options that, as Rafael was saying, sometimes you get to a point where you say, okay, so what I can do next? There are so many things I can do. So you have some leaders, and you have some coaches, and you have some people that will tell you, this is the path where you can go to, and it's our responsibility. And I talk about our because it's the company, it's also your responsibility to help you grow. And the opportunities are so big that you can change roles every 2 years, every year, and you will not do the same thing for more than 3 years. And the company will give you the opportunity to do so. So that's my path. Thank you very much. And I think we go to Q&As.
Thank you very much. Dear participants, we now have a few moments for a live Q&A with Mircha, Rafael, and Angela. So if you have any questions for them, please submit them in the Q&A panel. Other questions regarding work permits and locations will be answered in the written Q&A in the next 60 minutes of the session. So to ask a question, please submit in the right side Q&A panel your question. Mircha, we have a first question for you from Andrew, coming from UCLA Anderson School of Business, asking what differences in company culture do you see across the globe, and what aspects of the company culture are constant?
Okay, that, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
No, that's a very good question, and I have to say that I had the chance to see so many J&J offices across the globe, in Asia Pacific, in Europe, US, Latin America, and yes, we have different because we are different cultures, but you feel in every office that you are working for Johnson & Johnson. Because of the credo, because the way we make decisions, because the way we are structured, and that's very unique, and that was a big surprise to me. We have the same working spaces. So even if you work in a more, I don't know, there are some cultures where hierarchy is very important, but in this company, we try to have the same environment across the globe, respecting differences and respecting cultures, of course, but I think it's more than unite us than what differentiate us. So that's been my experience. And it makes easier your life when you move from one country to the other, because you have to adjust to the local culture, but not to the country.
Excellent, thank you. Perhaps next question for you, Angela and Rafael, coming from Anna from London Business School, who is asking about your experiences, your skills specifically before and during the program. What has changed?
So in my case, I mean, for my role, there weren't any specific skills or skills that needed. How the interview progressed was more like sorry, there's a background noise like a car, something like that. Sorry, I don't hear it, but in my case, it was more like what can you do and the problem solving and the analytics, and it's not more, not, it is not related to the background or scientific background, more on how can you behave on different nationalities. I don't know if Angela wants to add.
Yes, thank you, Rafael. Well, in terms of skills before and during and after, I have to admit that you grow a lot within J&J. As I told you before, it was J&J who opened the opportunity for me to go into marketing, something I hadn't done before. Hadn't done before. So that was a skill I gained during the RDP program, and even if you go out the program after your 2 years, you will still gain skills at different stages, because that's what you get while you grow within the company, and that's what they want with you growing within the company, that you gain more experience and you gain more strength and abilities.
Excellent, thank you very much. I have another question for you both, coming from Mike. How would you describe the support that you get from the senior leadership? Angela, do you want to go first?
Sure. Total support. It's a very open group. As Mirsha was saying, we do not have any close spaces, so the senior leadership is all the time. They are available for you to talk to them. You meet them in the hallway. You meet them while you're in the office. Sometimes in the restaurant. So they're very open to hear you and to help you connect with other people that can support you in the company with any process or with anything you need.
Yeah, I totally agree. In my case, for example, I have to say that my last interview was with the commercial VP of Italy, just to have a chat, because they value so much the person and not the worker, that they want to fully understand if you fit in the company. And as you can see, for example, we have the opportunity to chat with or to present with Mircea Cubillos also, that is a VP. So I have to say that the support across the path is critical. It's, pass me the word, it's a friendly company where you can chat and you can openly talk about the issues or ask help on how to develop. And I have to say also that one of the things that are very, very, in my opinion, cool is that, as Angela said before, it's so big, the company, that you have so many opportunities to grow, that is kind of, everyone wants to help you to grow, right? Because you have so many options that it's not like, oh, if Angela will take this role, I won't be able to grow. So it's a very, very, I would say, friendly, and everyone wants to help you to grow. Even obviously also the senior leadership that is on their own interest to help you grow and help their company. Because if you as the young talent grow, obviously you're gonna have a positive impact on the company. So in my case, they've always been very present.
Thank you very much. Mircea, next question is from you, coming from Wesley from UCLA Anderson, asking, how does J&J foster innovation and ensure that adequate resources are being put into new product development?
think now. Okay, so I would say that innovation comes with a very intentional. I mean, it's very intentional in Johnson and Johnson. So when you work in an organization in one of the countries, sometimes you feel that you don't have enough resources as you would like to have, and then you say, why I don't have? It's because we are sending as much as we can from all the operating companies across the globe, so we can invest in our R&D programs. And in pharmaceuticals, we are the leading company in terms of R&D research, which is very, very expensive, and not all the projects that we invest in came through the final stage of becoming a product that we can launch. But there's a big intention that we need to make all the efforts to investing in our innovation, and that's very inspiring. So yes, when you see the, for example, the J&J labs, that's been an amazing investment across the globe, but that's the spirit we create when we build that, and you know that you're in a company where innovation is the most important investment that we make every year. You see the future, and every time it's more difficult to bring innovation, and it's more expensive, and you need to bring the best talents from an engineering perspective to medical devices to the best scientists in farm. So there's a big intention. We discuss about that when you're an employee in this organization. You know it's happening, but also you see the rewards because we have a very strong pipeline in front of us, and we try to build also innovation in the ways we work every day. So innovation is not just about the products, it's on our business models, how we approach our customers, how we build new relationships, new partnerships. And this is a company that is very open to try and to conduct pilots in different regions for new business models, and how we lead in different spaces like value-based care, for example, where you are building a relationship of risk sharing with some institutions. So I have to say that it's a very innovative space, and as an employee, you put your own limits, and you need to bring ideas to the table, and there's a company where you can try and fail. So that will be my answer.
Thank you very much. Perhaps the last question coming from Clement from Cambridge Judge Business School. It can be for the three of you, but basically he's saying that he worked in a company previously with over 300,000 people, and one of the struggles of working in a big company is staying agile and making decisions fast. So how does J&J stay agile to keep ahead of the competition? Rafael, do you want to go first?
Wow, this is a very good question. Yeah, actually, I mean, what we do to improve the agility is to have very lean conversations and discussions. We try not to go into long meetings. For example, last year in EMEA, we had this initiative to have 45 minutes meetings only in terms to get a bit more lean. And then obviously knowing, and once you start working here, knowing to anticipate the requests and be ready to, by knowing which steps you need to do and knowing which are the jobs that your colleagues are doing also helps you to go a bit faster. I won't lie to you. I mean, we are a huge company and we have procedures and we need to go to some steps, but at the end of the day, we the people make the difference, and it's up to you also to figure it out how to better help your colleagues to approve a requirement and so on. So it's a combination. Also, you need to be curious and help your colleagues in order to cut the timings of the approval.
Thank you very much. Angel, do you have something to add on that?
Yeah, I will also add to what was Rafael was saying. It also sometimes it depends on you and your team and how fast you want to manage things. And it's also very important to know the people you need to talk to and you need to connect to make things happen. So you need to be organized. You need to have an agile team or have at least have an agenda that will set deadlines in order for you to move fast. But as Rafa was saying, sometimes we do have some processes that will take time, but it's just the way the company works, and the processes are there to help you make the very best decisions.
Thank you. Mircea, can I ask you any recommendations for future development program applicants?
Yeah, yeah, no, and just to close that topic, this is a struggle for big companies, and I think Rafael and Angela said that we are a company which we work in the healthcare sector. We have compliance policies. We want to protect our reputation, and sometimes we would like to be faster, and I want to be very transparent. I think there's an internal awareness, and we're trying to find every day new methodologies to go faster. Like we have implemented the agile methodology in some businesses, and it works because we know we are big. We know we need to make faster decisions, but also we want to protect our organization. So that's a daily struggle, and it's up to us to find every day new solutions to make decisions. So my final recommendation to all of you is to really understand if the healthcare sector, because including consumer, we have a big commitment to improve the health of our patients. It's something that is really inspires you. It's something that you want to do in your life. When I joined this 18 years ago, it was something that I never thought about doing in my life. I said, let's try this for 1 or 2 years, and it's been an 18 years journey. But I have seen also cases of people who, after 1 or 2 years, they said, no, I'm more inspired to be in the financial sector, or I'm inspired to be in consulting. So I think that's a very unique sector where you transform the life of people every single day, but learn about the company, our products, our compounds, therapeutic areas, categories, etc., to see if this is a company where you want to spend the next years of your professional development.
Thank you very much. Angela, Rafael, anything to add from your side, as you have both graduated from the IRDP program?
Just from my side, I think there's a video around there in LinkedIn I've seen that says that J&J is a company for life, and that's exactly what I've been experiencing while being in J&J. It's a company that will become part of your life if you allow it to be, and you can enjoy it in that way. And as Mircea was saying, I just invite you all to get to know more about the company, know all the sectors we work with, how we are helping people every day, and how we maintain what we do just to help people and keep growing and giving solutions to all the problems in the healthcare sector.
Excellent, thank you. Rafael, any recommendations also from your side?
No, from my side, just to tell you that, yes, the pharma sector is completely different. The healthcare sector is completely different. But one of the things that made me proud of working in J&J, and I actually and strongly believe it, is that we have a positive impact on the lives of our patients. We have the luck to have extraordinary products. I strongly believe extraordinary products, and we every day improve the life of the patients. It doesn't happen in all the in the pharma companies, and in J&J we are lucky enough, obviously because of the work of our colleagues to work in a company where we actually have a positive impact on the lives of the patient. So for me, something that helps me every morning to wake up and go to work, because actually it's like a topic and a slogan, but it is actually true.
Thank you very much. So really thank you to the three of you for taking the time to present the program, to present the J&J in general and different businesses. So this is all the time that we have for the live part. We will now continue our written Q&A. So the audio will quit. So please remain, dear attendees, online. Continue submitting your questions in the Q&A panel. We will answer them in writing as quickly as possible. So do remain in this WebEx online meeting. You may, if you prefer, disconnect your headset or hang up your phone. However, if you do so, make sure that you stay in the online meeting. Thank you again.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.